It's been nearly 30 years since Darlie Routier called 911 claiming someone stabbed her sons, but detectives say the young mother staged it and she's still sitting on death row right now. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez cracks open her notebook to take a second look.
These are the stories that keep me up at night. The missing, the murdered, the mysteries that have gone unsolved in our own backyards. I've covered crime in North Texas for more than 25 years, and now I'm opening up my reporter's notebook to you, revisiting cold cases and crimes that made headlines. The case of Darlie Routier is probably one of the most talked about cases in DFW history because it happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Rowlett. Two little boys were brutally stabbed to death, and their killer was their own mother. This all started in June of 1996, and there was a 911 call. That call was made by Darlie Routier.
Oh God, my babies are dying. Somebody keep me alone. I'm sleeping. Me and my little boys are sleeping downstairs. Amen. Stab my babies. Stab me. I woke up. My babies are dying. They're dead. Oh my God.
The 911 tape is really hard to listen to because it is the mother describing the stabbing deaths of her two little boys, 6-year-old Devin and 5-year-old Damon. Darlie Routier says that an intruder came in and stabbed the boys and then slashed her throat. Toby Shook is one of the prosecutors who helped in this case.
The children were attacked first with no reason. According to her, she woke up with a man on top of her. And the stab wounds were so inconsistent, the children were impaled, basically. Knives went all the way through, whereas hers was a superficial one across the neck.
Almost immediately, police questioned her story. She says an intruder came into the home and attacked them for no reason.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Why would they do this?
She claimed that she was awakened by a man and that he then tried to stab her, that he had sliced her throat and that she just couldn't remember his face. He was right over her face, but she had amnesia when it came to what his face looked like.
Police say nothing was taken from the home, and they believe that that crime scene was staged.
There was all types of watches, rings placed out in the kitchen on the counter that this supposed killer missed. If it was supposed to be burglary, nothing was taken.
Not only that, police say that the murder weapon was found at the scene and it had her fingerprints on it.
They left the knife laying it on. There's a knife. Don't touch anything. I already touched it. Pick it up.
What was clear was the evidence. Circumstantially, at trial we called 38 witnesses, methodically put on the crime scene, fake crime scene, how it was tampered with.
Darlie was charged with capital murder days after this attack.
This arrest is the result of the most intensive and exhaustive investigation ever conducted by the Rowlett Police Department. We believe that the white male suspect, described by Darlie Routier as the man that attacked her and murdered her children, never existed. We also believe that the wounds present on Darlie Routier were self-inflicted.
Her husband Darren was upstairs with their newborn baby. Darlie has maintained from the beginning that her husband had nothing to do with the deaths of these two boys.
One of the first few questions I asked her, did your husband murder these children? She said, absolutely not.
Darlie Routier took the stand and she really showed no emotion. And prosecutors say she was actually more concerned about the fact she hadn't had her hair done before the trial started. What kind of woman kills her children and stabs them in the middle of the night like that? Who does that?
Well, someone that's deeply reserved, that self-centered, that doesn't have a conscience.
Darlie was sentenced to death. Her husband stuck with her throughout the trial, but now they're divorced. Darlie and her family have filed multiple appeals saying that she's innocent.
Darlie, will you ever admit to having killed the boys?
I'm innocent. I thought that it was important for people to hear me actually tell them that I did not murder my children. I remember the overwhelming feelings all at one time, scared and angry, still feeling like it can't be real. I cannot actually believe They're doing this to me when I didn't do this. I did not kill Devin and Damon.
The family says that there's DNA that will clear her, but prosecutors say they tested over 100 samples of DNA, and they only came back to Darlie and the 2 boys.
There's DNA testing going on right now. I don't know what DNA testing is going to move the needle one way or the other.
Darlie sits on death row awaiting execution, and she declined our request for an interview.